Good morning on this very windy day in Albion. This morning I wanted to speak about something quite different, um, and that is the translation industry. And I'm going to be brief. The translation industry has veered into the realm of artificial intelligence, and all of my colleagues, I'm sure, are having to deal with this problem of being asked to correct the work of AI and asked to do it at a therefore significantly reduced rate with respect to a regular translation done by a thinking person, and often in short times. And I'm in this dilemma at the moment. I was given a 70-page translation, although of new material, probably 45 pages perhaps, of solar control system. So controller and storage batteries and all the switch gear to connect it to the grid and to the panels and to an external generator set in certain cases, and home or office electrical systems. I don't know. Start again. Well, I have to start again, I think, or perhaps I'll just carry on. It's a very windy day today, and there was what sounded like an explosion, but it was probably just something falling over in the garden. In fact, I think I know what it probably was. It's rather early. So I have this 45 pages of high-tech solar, and the equipment that I'm translating, it looks to be fairly expensive. So this is very carefully made. It's to a high professional standard. I would say it'll be probably a few £1,000s worth of kit. I don't know how much, maybe £4,000 or £5,000. I would guess at that sort of figure. But I'm not an expert on solar systems. It wouldn't surprise me if I'm out by 1,000 or two in either direction. And I've been given this, the time allotted of my free time, as it were, because I could only start, and I made this clear. I have 5 days. I was given 4 days, in actual fact, to do it. 4 days. Well, my experience has taught me that 4 days for 45 pages is very difficult. But of course, the job is longer than 45 pages. And also, I say, well, you're giving it to me at a significantly about half of my normal price, I think. And initially, it was offered to me at 30%. Now, really, for a complex system of this nature, or anything really, to translate it, the translator has to understand it and really needs to speak to the engineers to clear up different aspects, because the people who've written this document, while they may be quite good writers, some not infrequently make errors of judgment and produce misleading statements. And as a translator, really, to do our job properly, we need to clear these things up. So there's a degree of authorship in any translation. I think very rarely would one receive a text that was so limpid that it required no further clarification. It can happen, of course. I mean, it depends on how carefully the material has been prepared and how carefully it's been checked. Because I speak from experience, you can do a very good, you can write something very clearly and very well, but it will contain errors. and it will need to be reread by somebody else. This is an exercise in humility, actually. Any writer will know that how valuable an editor is. It's just part of the process. We don't see our own mistakes at a certain level. We miss them. The eye misses them. So I mean, a job like that would take, conservatively, I would think, at least you would want to dedicate an entire week to it. And I'm asked to do it in 4 days and expected to produce a working translation in 4 days. And yes, yesterday I got a reminder, oh, we need a particular part of it tomorrow by lunchtime, which is today. And so the time has been slightly more compressed in a way, because when you have to focus on one document out of the whole, you lose a bit of forward momentum. It's not ideal. It's generally ideal to reach the end of the translation before turning back and considering the excellence or paucity of your work. But I'm not complaining, because I'm very privileged to be a translator. It's a very good job, and it continues to be a good job. I mean, this is what translators are being asked to do, and they can't do it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they can't do it to up to an acceptable standard. And I think a lot of times companies are lulled into the idea that their documents can be somehow electronically translated, and they can't. It's as simple as that. And they'll find out slowly, because the document that I will hand in will be unequal to the task that is set before it, especially when you get anything that concerns warranties in there, because of course if the document's not absolutely clear, then you are opening the doors to legal costs down the line, and the translation agency will not shoulder them, because they will have a very carefully worded contract. And it's no good coming after me because I've missed out a word. I mean, because I'm a poor man and I have no insurance. Even if you took everything I had, it probably wouldn't cover your costs. Well, it might do, I suppose, if you could take my house off me. But if I were to be joking my house on the absence of a word, I would have lost it several times already. So that's just the translation industry. It's interesting how things go. I mean, I sit in my warm house and I translate. I write on the computer. I enjoy writing. I don't have to go out to a supermarket in the cold and chilly hours of the morning and set about shelf stacking. I've done jobs like that. I know there are people that do jobs like that, and I take my hat off to them. And I don't want it to be thought that I'm complaining about being a translator. I'm very grateful for the opportunities I have. I'm just making a comment on the state of, I suppose, the state of the world in a way. Because if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. And the tendency now is to just do jobs improperly, and no good will come of it. Good morning.